tequila peeps. Welcome to the Hombre Cave as we're hanging out here on a Friday night. It's Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on a Friday night, and we're here talking agave spirits today. Woohoo! Yeah! I'm pumped. I just had a belly full of sushi and I'm ready to go. So, hope you all are having a great evening today, and thank you for joining me here for another episode of Live from the Hombre Cave, where I'm here in the beautiful Hombre Cave. I know I'm not drunk. I haven't had anything to drink yet, but I'm probably going to be doing some wine tonight because after last night's episode with Dakota, I thought it was pretty cool. So I think that what did you guys think? Did you guys, all of you guys, watch the episode with Dakota Denton last night? I thought it was really good. It was really cool. Lots of good information. Hola, me. Hey, look at that. Hey. Hey, what's up, JCS Guitar? Yes, it's Friday, and we're live from the Hombre Cave. Hello, Beyond Barrels. Bienvenido, welcome. Glad you can make it. Jan Neeson. Bienvenido, welcome. Glad you can make it. Frankish, happy Friday to you too, my friend. Glad you can make it. We're gonna have a party here tonight. We're gonna talk about all kinds of cool things. But hey, so did you guys like the interview with Dakota last night? I thought it was pretty good. Wasn't a whole lot of people here, unfortunately, but lots of good information. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Even though he's a winemaker and stuff, there's a lot of good information shared, especially with wood aging and stuff that spans across multiple things. But you might, some of the stuff that we're going to talk about, not all of it's going to be tequila based here, because I have other interests and stuff that I'm going to talk about. But a lot of it, helps with the tequila side of things. And I try to explain that with, my experience in brewing beer and now making wine, helps me understand further fermentation and process involved before distillation of agave spirits, because it's all basically kind of the same thing. And it's so freakishly weird how close in production techniques that tequila is to wine, all except for the distillation part. But still, they do the distillation part for brandies, and they'll do that for fortification of some wines. So there's still, some vineyards and stuff have stills. They have stills, and they do some experimentation and stuff. And sometimes if they want to save a batch, they could distill a bad batch, pull the alcohol out, and use that for fortification, which is kind of what they talked about a little bit yesterday with Dakota. So I thought it was a really cool episode. I had a really good time talking to Dakota, and I hope you guys enjoy the information he shared. He is a really cool guy. It was nice that he took his time out. And I was serious about, hey, if those of you here in Southern California that want to get together and do a trip down to the winery and have a Tequila Hombre wine tasting down there and talk wine and agave spirits and stuff, we could do that. That would be cool. I'd be up for it. So for those of you that aren't in Southern California, well then it's kind of a long trip for you maybe, and so it may not work out for you, but but I'm thinking a Temecula wine trip for the Tequila Hombre would be kind of cool. So if any of you guys are up for that, let me know. We can try to put it together and get a group of people here together, and we'll go sit and drink some wine and talk about all kinds of things, not just agave spirits, because that's not all I talk about my entire life. I have other things, other interests and stuff. We're going to bring cigars, we can enjoy ourselves with some wine and cigars and just, shoot the shit and have a good time. So that's, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you like the content? I guess that's what you're saying. Yeah. About. So, and then, what did you guys think about the video today for Mezcals? Hopefully it was informative for you, educational. Hopefully it maybe taught you something you didn't know. And if not, then when we start getting into the reviews and bringing the interviews on for the Mezcal brand owners and producers and stuff, that maybe that'll increase your knowledge base a little more. But today we're going to talk a little bit about agave spirits today. So that's what the conversation is going to be about. It's going to be about, and tequila's an agave spirit, of course. But we talk about mezcals, we talk about raicillas, we talk about all that stuff. Because we're going to start on Monday, we're going to start launching the Mezcal Monday episodes. So we're going to feature other agave spirits besides tequila, and talk about them, talk about other agave species and stuff like that on the Tequila Hombre channel. And then we're going to do deeper dives into it here on the Hombre Cave. So those of you that are interested in learning more about agave spirits that aren't just tequila, then you'll have the ability to do so, which is cool because there's some really good agave spirits out there that people don't know about. And they think, oh, it's mezcal, it's going to be smoky, I'm not going to like it, which isn't true. It's misinformation. So everyone thinks that all mezcals are smoky and it's going to be gross and you don't like it if you don't like smoke, but that's not true. That's not true at all, period. There's lots of mezcals out there that aren't smoky at all, period. And one of the ones that I'm going to review on Monday will be that'll be the case. So the brand that we're doing on Monday is, and I'll have the owner on this on Tuesday as a special guest here on the Hombre Cave, but it's de Matachines. Ceremonial religious dancers. Cool. So we'll talk about those. Two, those are Destilados de Agave. And we'll talk about those, and I'll review them on Monday on the Tequila Hombre channel. That'll be a review, a pre-recorded review, and then we'll talk about them afterwards on the Hombre Cave on Tuesday at 7 p.m. And we'll have the owner of that brand here with us too. Great. Mezcal, another rabbit hole for me to go down. My liver's going to hate you. No, it's good for you. Your liver's going to love me. It's going to be like, wow, good. It's about time that Jan started drinking good stuff and none of that grain-based crap that he was drinking all of his life. All right, and so for those and for those of you that are like, I don't like mezcal, I'm tequila. Tequila's, I gave you guys an option. It's a mezcal that's actually a tequila. This is made with Weber Blue Agave. This is made every way an ancestral tequila is made. If you haven't bought it yet and tried it, you owe yourself to do so. This stuff's phenomenal. It's really good. And we have some of it left on ferment and still, but it is the reason why we bought this for the collective was because it's a great entry into mezcal, because this thing is so close to tequila. If it was in Jalisco and they ran it through the CRT, it would be called tequila. That's how good, how close this stuff is to tequila. It's made exactly the same way as every tequila that you possibly could find in Jalisco or in your liquor store, with the exception of they use ancestral techniques, instead of the industrialized techniques that they use now. So this one's kind of cool. They use the hollowed out tree trunk as a still with a clay pot underneath it. It was cooked using earthen pits with fire, with wood as fuel. And then it was hand crushed with machetes. Instead of using a roller mill, they crush it with machetes and they throw it in a tank and then fill it with water and then let the yeast ferment it in the tank before they then extract or before they then put the mosto in the still and with all the fibers and everything, and then distill it to make this wonderful tequila. Mezcal, because it wasn't certified by the CRT. It can't be called tequila. So it's a mezcal since it was certified by the CRM. So this is a 48.51% alcohol by volume. So it's definitely high proof. It is not a normal 40% alcohol. And it's absolutely delicious. It's really good. And so if you want to see how good a real ancestral tequila can taste, this is a must-have bottle, a must-have. It is a must buy. And there, we only have like, I think just under 100 bottles left. So, because we bought the entire batch, we own all of it. Ferment and Still has it. No one, you can't find it anyplace else. The La Luna does have other expressions everywhere, but we're the only one with this ancestral Tequila Weber Blue, and it is it's good. So don't miss out. Make sure you grab a bottle and try it, and then you'll thank me after you do, and that'll start you on your journey in the world of mezcals. We have another one too on there from Vago, which is really good. It's more of a it's got an interesting berry flavor to it, berry and fruit, to the point where when you're taking sips of it and stuff, it kind of comes across as like a bubblegum-esque kind of flavor, which is really good. No smoke on any of these. They're really well made. Normally, when you taste a lot of heavy smoke, it's a sign of a production flaw. So if you're tasting a mezcal that's got a lot of smoke to it, you're tasting the wrong mezcal. And there's cheap ones out there that are made just, all nilly-dilly. There's one even like the Del Maguey Vida, which you can find on a lot of the stores. People buy that and thinking that it's a good mezcal to try. That one is meant to be overly smoky because it's actually meant to make smoky margaritas and stuff. So if you buy the Del Maguey Vida, make a smoky margarita, but don't buy it as a sipper. Although people that really like peated scotches and stuff love that because it's so smoky. I'm not a smoke person. I don't like a lot of smoke in my agave spirits. So that one doesn't sit right with me. There's some other ones like Zikaru and stuff that don't sit right with me, which is, $20-something a bottle. You can find it at Bevmo or whatever, those cheap, poor production mezcals. And I'm not a big fan of those. So stay away from those, because otherwise they'll turn you off and you go, I don't like mezcal, but you haven't really tried, even dipped your toe in the pool of mezcal. Just trying the one that you found at the local liquor store that was cheap that you figured I'd give it a try. Don't do those. Don't do that. Find a good mezcal. I've got some mezcal reviews already up on the Tequila Hombre channel that you guys can look for and get the recommendations and try and buy them and try them. There's some good ones on there. But as far as entry level goes, I would start with the La Luna Tequila, the ancestral one that we have on Ferment and Still. That's a tequila barrel and agave collective special edition. So that one's good. That's a good mezcal to start with. But we've got all kinds of mezcals that we're going to be doing. Let me see if I can get this camera working. I'll show you guys here. Let's see. All right, let's see if we can get it working here. All right, let me see. Where are we with this camera? Here we go. All right, so let me see if I can get it. So, yeah, okay. There it goes. Now it's got me. Okay, cool. All right, so here, let me cut to this. All right, so this shelf right here, this is all other agave spirits right here. There's no tequila on any of these shelves. This is all Raicilla, Sotos, Mezcals, Bacanoras, everything. It's all, this whole cabinet right here is all other agave spirits. So we're going to be pulling some bottles down from here and doing reviews on them for you, telling you about the brands and stuff. So we have all these right here that are all other agave spirits, mezcals, sotos. There's even a mezcal gin in there, which is a pretty good mezcal gin. I like that one. And we'll go over all kinds of stuff. I think I actually have the mezcal gin up on a review already on the channel. So that whole cabinet right there is all agave spirits, which I enjoy. I love some really good agave spirits. So there's lots of them you saw that I've had, and we'll pull them off the shelf. We'll do reviews of them and give you guys some more information, so going into whatever store or whatever you're looking at, you'll know which ones to buy and which ones to trust and which ones to stay away from. It's just like tequila. It's just like wine. I mean, you don't buy a bottle of Mad Dog 2020, right? Off a grocery store shelf, and then say I don't like wine after tasting that, or Thunderbird or something like that. And you don't go, I don't like wine after trying a really bad, poorly produced wine. Instead, you try other expressions, right? You try other things. That's the same approach you should have with agave spirits, with Mezcal and stuff like that. So, all right. Scott's ready to party. Cool. Guys, I got to tell you, I just finished aging Tapatio Blanco for 1 month with the Spiral. Number 3 char, and loved it. Can't wait to try my El Tesoro Blanco with the BB Aging Toasted Stave project. Number 3 char. Oh, with a spiral. Okay. Yeah, the spirals aren't as good a wood as what you're getting from your aging stave, so you're gonna love the aging stave more. Yeah, he's talking about, he bought a probably spiral on Amazon, would be my guess. So he aged one with a spiral first, but he's not talking about your aging stave, Chris. Chris is like, spiral? Blasphemy! What are you talking spiral for? Look at that. Don't upset Chris, JCS. You don't want to get him blasting on you about spirals and endwood cuts and stuff. Oh, I was going to bring some adjuncts up here to show you guys some stuff too. I'm doing those wines, as part of this the Hombre Cave project stuff. I've got a Cabernet Sauvignon and a Chardonnay, and I've got the Cabernet Sauvignon came with wood chips and wood cubes, and so I was going to bring those up and show you guys the crap that they throw in these kits for you to use. Instead, I'm using a Beyond Barrel aging staves for the wine projects, just because I want a better flavor profile. I want better quality wood used, just like the winemakers do. And it was kind of cool talking to Dakota about that yesterday, and the quality of wood that they look for. At least 3 years open season aged is like the minimum. And the Beyond Barrel aging staves, I think the 3 years is the minimum for the lower one, and then the 5 years, the higher one, the experimental one that I've been working with as well. So it's the same kind of like really good quality wood that they use for their barrels. No kiln drying or any of that other stuff, just open air seasoning. So I want a better flavor profile and better quality wood used for my wine. So I'm actually going to age them with the Beyond Barrel staves, and I'm just going to throw the cubes and the sawdust that they give me away, just because I don't want it touching my wine and imparting the off flavors and stuff you get from the way they cut the wood. And it has to do with end grains and long grains and stuff like that Chris, has told me about since I've known him. So JCS says, yes, I didn't know of Chris at the time, and I'm excited to try my other project. There you go. Yes. And you'll see that the aging stave will give you a lot better results because I've used the spirals before, and they work okay. They were good. But once I tried the aging staves from Beyond Barrel, it was like next level. It was no comparison to how good and the difference that there was between the spiral and the aging staves. And then we used Domino's too, where we bought wine barrel staves from a wine barrel supplier, and they sent us like their warped wood and stuff, and so we bought those and chopped them into what they call dominoes, which are little squares, and we use those for aging, and those were good too, but still not as good as the Chris's staves. So I still have bags of these dominoes that I just don't use anymore. I use the Beyond Barrel aging staves now. That's it. That's all I know. So, hey, Osito, he's sipping on Fortaleza Blanco 100. Okay, good. I still have bottles out here. I don't even touch that stuff. It's like, yeah. I'm done with all the Fortaleza hype. It's just a bunch of hype crap. There's so many other things. I'd rather be sipping on like a good Carrera Blanco, man. I love my Carrera Blanco. And people keep saying, oh, these She's always saying that because they like pay him to say it. I'm like, no, you don't know me. You don't know them. They don't pay anybody anything. They're just friends, and they do a good job. And I really, 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 really like that Blanco. So that's why I talk about it all the time. No payment happening. I don't get paid for any of this stuff. I do it for free. Ivan says the wife and I are sipping on Yayo. Nice. Yayo's a good solid Blanco. We're going to be getting that the first single barrel repo of Yayo coming in March, coming next month. I'm excited about that. Matter of fact, you guys saw the barrel selection that I did with John Bollinger here on the Hombre Cave. He sent me the remaining part of the bottle like I told him to. He actually came through and sent me the remaining bottle. So I have the bottle with the remaining juice in it that's left from that our barrel. It's downstairs on the counter. I need to bring it back up here so I could drink it. So that's it. What do you feel about Mi Campo? Tasted like agave marshmallow, so made me think, yeah, it's not a good quality. It's a Cufradia garbage tequila. But we're talking about mezcals and agave spirits today. Come on, we're not talking about Mi Campo. Not talking about crap like that. Gosh, man. I feel like Napoleon Dynamite, right? God, man. So this is what's coming up on Monday. It's a Destilado de Agave. It's called De Matachinas Agave Spirit. It comes out of San Luis Potosi. So we'll do the review on these and talk about these. Both of them, I have two expressions from them. And they're both I think they're both Salmiana. They're both Salmiana. Yeah, they're both Salmiana agave. So that should be really good. I'm looking forward to doing that. One of my friends has that brand, so it should be really good. Do you like Pachuga mezcal? Absolutely. It depends on the Pachuga. I mean, there's different types of Pachugas out there. Pachuga means breast. So mainly when they first did it, it was like turkey breast or chicken breast in it. But now they throw all kinds of things in there. I've done a review of a nice vegan Pachuga where they used fruit in the still. This one is kind of a Pachuga anyways because it has pomegranate in the still. So yeah, there's some good Pachugas out there, and there's some that aren't so good. I did a review of the erstwhile Mezcal. They did a bacon Pachuga, which is really nice. It had a nice oiliness to it that was kind of cool with the bacon in it. But that one was really good. So it all depends on what they do and how they do it. It should be really good though. I love my Diablito Rojo Extra Nejo. I needed a suggestion for something comparable. New try. Thank you. There's nothing comparable to Diablito Rojo. It stands out on its own, being from Napa Cab Barrel and stuff like that. That is like the king of Extra Nejos there. It is so good and so different. Was it San Luis Potosi Salmianas are magical? Yep, they're delish. They're good. They do them good out there. So this will be a nice review on Monday, and then we'll talk about it on Tuesday. And I'll have the owner of the brand here with me on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. He's excited to come and talk to you guys about his brand, about his projects. He's a really good friend of mine. I've known him for a couple of years now, and he's a good guy. So we'll have a good time with him, and he'll share his project and his passion and stuff with you guys. So it'll be really cool. Make sure you put it on your calendar to be here 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday. Just so we can do Tuesdays and Fridays, right? And we threw an extra one Thursday this week just because we had the winemaker come in. But I thought that was really fun. I thought that was cool. I don't know. Not a whole lot of people were there for it, and not a whole lot of people have watched it so far. But I hope more people will watch it just to hear us talk about how similar wine production is to tequila production, because it's like practically the same thing. And there's a reason why they called early tequila the wine of mezcal from tequila. So Yes, everything does go bacon better with bacon. Well, everything doesn't go better with bacon. Everything, what is it? It's everything's better with bacon. Goes better with bacon. Goes, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're right. Everything goes better with bacon. You can't go wrong. Bacon's a beautiful thing. Don Felix in Santa Catarina Minas is a Pachuga wizard. Great use of fruit, spices. Yep, there you go. San Luis Potosi is one of the most beautiful cities in Mexico. Okay, good. Glad you like it. Damn, that's what it. Yeah, no, that Diablito Rojo is something special. You're not going to find anything like it out there, anything close. Just he really. Now, one of the things too, it's like. I keep talking about wine, right? And tequila. Now, have you guys noticed a trend? Have you noticed a trend with wine and tequila? There's been a kind of a trend going on. I don't know if people have noticed it, but Diablito Rojo is aged in what kind of barrels? Finished in what kind of barrels? Napa Cabernet, right? Napa Cabernet barrels. The El Luchador Repo is aged in what kind of barrels? White Burgundy barrels, right? And everyone's going, so complex, so good. One of the best reposados I've ever had. Okay. And Montegave's very good too. And that comes in wine barrels as well. So there's a trend of moving towards aging stuff in wine barrels. Wine and tequila are so closely related that they actually do really well when they're aged in wine barrels or blended. It have wine included with it. So there's a trend. And so, some of the people that are really blowing things off the doors here in the tequila world come from the wine world. David Ravandi lives close to Sonoma, California, and Healdsburg, and a place where there's lots and lots of wine, and he's a big wine guy, huge wine guy. And you look at what he's done with tequila, with the 123 organic line and El Luchador and stuff. Top-notch tequilas, exceptional flavors, and it's done right. And then another wine guy, Colin Edwards, is the guy behind Cascanes. And he's been blowing the doors off of things with Cascanes. He's a huge wine expert, to the point where I've been told if you hand him a wine bottle in a paper bag, he can drink the wine and tell you where the grapes are from, what kind of yeast they use, break everything down to the point where he can almost tell you like what brand the wine is from, and who made it. I mean, he's like that kind of a wine geek. And he took, what he's learned in wine, as well as what he learned from his recipes from talking to the moonshiners down in Mexico, and made Cascanes with it. And then he's the one that kind of also brought malolactic fermentation to the forefront with that Hoven when they messed up the batch and over fermented it to the point where it tasted like Parmesan cheese, and then we had to mix it down to make it drinkable, because it was undrinkable when I first had it. It was like, oh my god, this is nasty. It was bad. But because we mixed it with regular Blanco, we mixed it with Repo and some extra Añejo and stuff, it blended it in, and it kind of made it so they could salvage that particular batch. So damn, that's what. Yeah, it's so good. I know, right? Is 123 again? Yes, 100% completely additive free. Yes. 123 is it's organic. You can't have additives in it. It's organic. But everything at 123 organic tequila is additive free. It's 100% completely additive free. The only additives that go into that tequila is love and passion. That's it, baby. 100% additive free. Yes, it's 100% additive free. Well, completely additive free. Yes, 100%. If I'm talking about it, it's additive free. I don't talk about tequilas or recommend tequilas that use additives. It's additive free. And if you said, hey, do you use additives in your tequila to David Ravandi, he probably would open up and just blast you with all kinds of stuff about how dare you insult him thinking he would use additives. He is a purist by every means. Does not want anything additives in his brand. If he makes it naturally and it doesn't turn out good, he just doesn't serve it. He works on it until it gets done right. He's always been like that. So it's all 100% additive free. Everything I talk about is additive free. Carrera Blanco, additive free. All the brands that I recommend, they're all additive free. So, Scott, you don't have to worry about additives here. If we're talking about it, there's no additives. And just because it's not on the additive free list doesn't mean it has additives. And just because it's on the additive free list doesn't mean it's additive free. So, just so you know, there is not anything that is set 100% proof that there's no additives in the stuff that's on the additive list. So just so you know, there's a way around the system. So yeah, you definitely want to try 1, 2, 3. But you know, just like I've told people before, just because it's said TMM says it's so doesn't mean that's the case. All right, trust your tastes. If you don't like it because it's too sweet, then chances are it's got additives in it. Trust your tastes. Don't go by what other people say. Trust your tastes. And if you try enough additive tequilas and try enough natural tequilas, you'll know when they're using additives. You can taste it. But use it as a reference. Don't use it as because it said it's true, because that's not, you're going to find out you're going to get disappointed. So so there you go. Okay, so what else are we going to talk about? Agave spirits, right? So I have a new Ricea that's coming in too. They're sending me a bottle. I want to do a review of that. They say they think that they know I will love it, and they're excited to hear what I think about it. So that should be coming in sometime next week, I'm hoping. I did talk to David Ravandi, and the the El Luchador Añejo just crossed the border. So it should be ready to go and on the shelves by mid-March. So I should have a bottle for review here within the next week or so. So that's something that we have to look forward to, where it will be available for people to buy. And El Luchador Scott is 100% additive free as well. There's no additives in anything David Ravandi does, so you don't have to worry about that. The only additives is wood. It is wood from soaking it in a barrel. What's your favorite mezcal? That's like asking who's your favorite child. I love all different mezcals. My favorite mezcal is the one I'm drinking at the time. So it all changes. The flavor profiles of them are so different. You can have one that tastes like, something more earthy and stuff on one night, and something way more fruity and stuff on the other night, depending on what you're in the mood for, and what you're doing. Like if I'm smoking a cigar, I may go something more earthy, more leathery, or I may go something more fruity and on a warmer day, more fruit forward, berry forward. So it all depends. The flavor profiles on mezcals are so much more expansive than tequila. It'll blow your mind. So you can, and that's why there's a big saying in the mezcal world, and it's like, if you don't like mezcal, it's because you haven't found the one you liked yet. There's so many different flavor profiles you can get, so many different types of flavors and stuff that you can't say this is my favorite mezcal, because you'd find another one, go, this one's good too, and this one's good for this, and this one's good. So you'll have a bunch of favorites, and I have a bunch of brands that I enjoy. So I don't have one particular one that's my favorite. There's a lot of really good ones. And when you start hearing the tasting notes on it, you'll be going, okay, wow, okay, yeah, this one sounds really cool, or this one sounds really good. And so we'll expose you to a lot of different ones depending on the agave. That's the varietal that they're using for the particular mezcal. So some of my favorite varietals, some of my favorite mezcals, the agaves mezcals to drink are like, I love tobalas, I love jabalis, I love tepastates, tobasiches are really good. I don't really particularly care for espadín. It's okay. For me, it's kind of meh. I like some of the more wilder agaves. Cenizo's really good. Cenizo's is one that they'll cultivate. But they also do some wild. It's out of Durango, which Cenizo is really good. I like Cenizo. Masperillo is pretty cool too. That's a good one out of Durango as well. I mean, there's a bunch of different really good agaves. So, we'll let you guys. You'll see the wide range of agave you can choose from. So when you start fishing out of the mezcal pool, it gets pretty crazy. Can't wait to try some luchador. I can't get it here in Mexico, so I might mule it down. You'll have to mule it down. I know it doesn't keep it in Mexico. Darian says you're going to be a big Salmiana fan soon. Okay, well, I never said I wasn't a big Salmiana fan anyways. I mean, and Darian is the gentleman that owns this brand that I'll be reviewing on Monday. So hey, Darian, thanks for stopping by and joining us today. We'll see you on Tuesday, whether people get to see your faces, because we'll bring you on as a guest on the screen with me. But Darian's a good friend of mine, and he's the one that owns the brand that I'll be reviewing on Monday, and he will be our guest on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So guys, everyone say hello to Darian. I'm sure I'll be a big fan. I'll be a big fan of Salmiana. I mean, I love Salmiana anyways. I've had some good Salmianas that I like. I've had some Durumbas, right, from San Luis Potosi, which is Salmiana. That was good. I love the Durumbas from San Luis Potosi. Durumbas. But I can't wait to try yours. Well, we're excited to hear you talk about it, so that's cool. What is this? My Senor Mague Agave Nectar seems to settle out. Any recommendations on remixing it or blending it back to original? Just shake it up. Yeah, just shake it up. Make sure you put it in the fridge though if you open it, because it will ferment in the in the pantry, and it'll blow the cork out of it. So keep it in the refrigerator. Darian says hi, everybody. Everybody say hi to Darian. Welcome him to our the Hombre Cave. Let's show him some Hombre Cave hospitality. Yeah, here you go. Hey, Darian, would love to try some Salmiana. There you go. So everyone's going to say hi to Darian now, which is cool. What is this? Luchador, in my opinion, is really nice. Excited to try the Neo. Yes, the Luchador Repo is fantastic. It's the most complex reposado I've ever tasted. It's one of my favorite reposados. So it's really good. And Scott, if you want to try Salmiana, you should be there on Tuesday, because I will give away some tasters of the mezcal. So there you go. That's two, but he lives in Mexico. So Scott, watch it next week and you'll be able to get it at Ferment and Still. Yeah, it's already up on Ferment and Still. So it's available, but Scott lives in Mexico, so you'd have to have somebody mule it down to him. Hola to all. Hope the drinks are strong and life is relaxing. Thanks, Brian. They are. Brian, glad you could join us. Glad to have you here. So yeah, we're going to be diving deeper into agave spirits, and I know Darian is a huge fan of mezcals and agave spirits, so it'll be cool to find out about his passion about this stuff and why he's doing what he's doing. We've talked about these projects together for probably 4 years ago, probably, Darian, right? Has it been that long that we originally started talking about this project together? I've known you for a while. It feels like, I want to say like 5 years now, probably. It's probably close to that because we went through COVID and all that stuff, right? Yeah, it's probably been like 4 or 5 years. But yeah, we're going to be talking a lot more about agave spirits and raicillas and sotos and all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah. Okay, good. It's in the fridge. Good. Yeah, I've learned the lesson about having blown the top off in my pantry, and we were sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden it pops, and we're like, what's that? And we went in, and it blew the cap in the pantry. It didn't shower everything with agave nectar, but it definitely was about. Winfred says, hello, Darian. So about 2.5 years ago, right at the beginning of COVID. Okay. So it's still 2.5 years. It feels like longer. I guess COVID was, whew. Yeah, there you go. You said the same thing, but it feels a lot longer. It does feel a lot longer. COVID was rough getting through all that stuff with everything that was going on. Put everything on hold. Darian says, hi, back to you, Winfred. You guys will be able to see him, his face and stuff on Tuesday when he's here. We're featuring his brand because I'll do the review on Monday for Mezcal. We're doing Mezcal Mondays now. For those of you that don't bother watching my videos on the Tequila Hombre channel. Some of you guys, I think, just fake it till you make it type of thing. But I did a video today on Mezcals and agave spirits, and kind of talked about, if you think you don't like mezcals, you're probably wrong, because you just probably didn't like a particular one. But tequila in itself is a mezcal by definition, so you can't say you don't like mezcals if you like tequila, because tequila is a mezcal. It was called Vino de Mezcal, the tequila, wine of mezcal, which a mezcal just basically means an agave plant that's used to make agave spirits. So there's a wide range of things, just like wine. You can't say, if you try a Chardonnay, you're not going to say, I don't like wine just because you didn't like a Chardonnay, when there's so many other varietals you could try that maybe you will have a better experience with, or like the flavor profile more. It's the same with agave spirits. Tequila uses one. It's Weber Blue Agave, so that's like one varietal. But there's like 50 different types of other agave that you can make agave spirits with that are used, and probably even more than that. There's not really even a cap on it, where you can find one to go, wow, I really like the flavor profile of this. This is like my favorite, and my favorites changed like 3 times since I started really getting into mezcals as far as what agave I like. But every time I try like a newer one, or try one that's made a different way, I'm like, ooh, I really like this one, or I really like that one. So that's why I don't claim to have a favorite mezcal, because there's so many good ones out there. You'd be a fool to name a favorite without trying all of them. and even then, at different times, you feel like different flavor profiles, and so you'll like different things. So my favorite mezcal is the one I'm drinking at the time. So so there's could be a different favorite one every day. I hope that makes sense, right? That makes sense. Boy, everybody's super talkative today. Come on, guys. Everyone's tired Friday, tired, bad weather. All right, so we got that coming up on Monday. Tuesday, we'll have Darian talking about his brand when we go over the kind of review and stuff on that. And then because of that, I'll be probably drinking his brand with me. So we're not going to go over the aged stuff. I'm just going to let it sit in the bottle and marry some more, which that's kind of one thing you want to do after you pull the stave out of them, is just let them sit and let all the flavors kind of marry together and kind of blend nicely together. So it gets a chance to kind of settle down. So it'll probably be a week from next Tuesday before I dive into the aging projects to see where they're at. So we're just going to let them sit here and marry and settle down and get good with each other. So Scott says, here in Puerto Vallarta, the local agave spirit is Raicilla. Yep. It's quite a different flavor than blue agave. It is. And there's different ones too. One of my favorite Raicillas is a guy that makes it. I don't think he's too far from Puerto Vallarta. He's the Wolf. So it's Los Lobos de la Sierra. The Wolf of the Sierra is his Raicilla. It's really good. It's not. There's some Raicillas that can be pretty funky and kind of just really out there weird. But this one that he did is not. It's actually pretty mainstream on the flavor profile, but it's super drinkable. You don't have to be like have an eclectic palate in order to enjoy it like some Raicillas. This one is super good, super easy to drink. I showed you guys the bottle of it before, but it's called Lobo de la Sierra, Wolf of the Sierras. He makes a really, really, really good mezcal or Raicilla. That's his. Now he also makes the puntas for La Venenosa, so that's his as well. But his personal brand, I actually prefer his personal brand that he does more than what he does for La Venenosa, which the puntas are good, but they're just not as great, in my opinion, as his own personal brand. So Scott, if you ever see the Lobo de la Sierra while you're running around Puerto Vallarta, grab a bottle and try it. If you haven't already tried it, it's really good. But Raicilla can be really good, and Raicilla can be really super funky, weird. Like I had one that was, the taste was very musty. It was like licking the inside of a dirty gym shoe. It smelled like a gym shoe locker, like a gym locker, and then it was really musty and earthy and stuff when you tasted it. So it tasted like a sweaty gym shoe. Was the way I described the flavor profile. Let me see. Do I have Scott? Let me see if I find I'll show you a bottle of it, what it looks like. So if you see it, you'll go, okay, I know that's what it is. Let me grab a bottle real quick. I have one right down here. They had one down here. Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? Well, poop. I thought I had one down here. No. Ah, here it is. I found it. There you go. This is the label for it. So if you see this one, Scott, this is the one you want to look for. It's Lobo de la Sierra. That's his brand. This is a really good Raicilla. I've like polished off 4 bottles of this so far. I like that one a lot. And you can actually go and tour his taberna, from what I understand. He's really like open to having people come in and see how he does things. So you can go and actually visit his taberna and take a tour and stuff. I had Guillermo Salza ask me if I said the next time I come to Mexico, let him know, and then he'll come and we'll do a road trip up to see his taberna. I guess he likes going up there and hanging out with him because he's kind of a really cool dude. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind next time I show up to Mexico. Guillermo but I don't have a motorcycle. I think he likes riding Harleys and stuff. I don't have a Harley there in Mexico, so I don't know if I want to ride a motorcycle around the Sierras there, but But maybe we can take a car if Guillermo's okay with that. But he's like, yeah, we'll do a tour, which I think that'd be cool. I mean, nice. Okay, good. We'll try some. It's available right there, right where you're at. They sell it there in Puerto Vallarta. Because I think he's closer to the coast. I think he's more of a Costa versus so I think he's closer. He might be like in the edge of the Sierras that are getting closer to the coast. I don't think he's deep in the Sierras as some of the other ones are. Like up by Michoacan, I think he's more closer to Puerto Vallarta, but I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. But I know that I've had people tell me that they've seen it in Puerto Vallarta. They've seen his raicilla there. Yes, raicilla can be really funky. It is kind of cool. I enjoy it. It's good. I mean, it's not like it turned me off, but I was like, whoa, because I wasn't expecting it at first. And it's like, you know, when you start diving into flavors like that, you kind of have to give yourself a little time on the palate development on it, because it's not something you're normally used to. And so you have to give yourself a little time to decide whether it's something you really like or you don't like. And that's why I tell people too, when you try it, like Mezcal, try it once, then, you know, see if you like it. If you don't like it, don't give up on it yet. Come back a week later and try it again. And then see, you know, whether you're liking it more or not. And, you know, if not, then give it another week and come back again and try it. And then see how you feel about it. And you can give it a week or 2 weeks, but you just give it some time and come back and visit it after it has a chance to mellow a little bit and develop a little bit. And it gives you also a chance for your palate to kind of adapt to a different flavor that you're not used to. And then to make a determination then whether you like it or not. And then, you know, go from there. But too many people give up on it after one sip. They're like, I can't drink this. It's like, well, you tried it once, put it away. Take a break from it, and then come back to it and try it again and see what you think. And, you know, sometimes you could have eaten something later on that didn't mix well with it, or you ate something earlier in the day that didn't mix well with it, or you're just in a mood where you're just not in the mood for that kind of flavor profile. There's a lot of different things that could affect whether you like the flavor of something or not. So sometimes you just have to give things a little chance, come back and revisit another time, maybe when you're feeling better, feeling more experimental or more, you know, trying something interesting type of mood, and give it a chance instead of just trying it once and saying, I don't like it and I need to get rid of it. I've known some people that have done that. They're like, I tried it once. I didn't like it. I'm like, well, give it 2 weeks. So try it now. You tried it now. You didn't like it. Give it 2 weeks. Come back and try it again. And then I've had people after they said, you know, Mark, you're right. After I tried it a second and a third time, I really like it now. I just finished the bottle and I ordered another one. It's like, okay, see, there you go. Sometimes it just takes you a little time to develop the palate and get used to the flavors, because there's something that you're not used to because you haven't had them before. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So don't give up on stuff. Just give it a chance, right? I say 3 tries. After the third time, after you waited like a week or two between each try, you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. But I'd give it a few tries before you make that determination that you don't like it. Give it a chance. Everybody deserves a second chance, even Mezcals and agave spirits. Because it's a different agave than you're used to. It's going to have a different flavor profile than you're used to. Does that make sense? All right. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna dive down the rabbit hole. We're gonna be getting into some really cool things, and I'll have some really cool guests. I know I have Alejandro from Burrito Fiestero will come on. I know he'll talk to us, and he even wants to arrange a trip. So if some of you want to go see a Mezcal Venata distillery, we can arrange to go down with me and visit the distillery and and maybe even work on helping them create or make one of their mezcals while we're there, living in their hacienda and at the Vinata. And so that's an opportunity where, some of you guys may be able to join me on if you want to. So this will be a fun little journey that we'll do here on the Hombre Cave. And then, of course, the Mezcal Mondays will be up on the Tequila Hombre channel. So we'll dive into some really cool things here and get you guys some really cool exposure and really cool information. So you'll become wizards at Mezcal and other agave spirits, as well as tequila, right? We'll take care of all of them for you. All right, so any other comments or questions or anything you guys want to talk about real quick? We got about 5 minutes here before I'm going to call it a night, and then we'll see you guys on Tuesday next week with Darian talking about his brand, and we'll talk about how big of a Salmiana fan I am. Yeah, Scott agrees. He says, yeah, you really need to sit with agave spirit and check back with them. Absolutely. Absolutely. I keep telling people that. Give them, don't make a decision based on one try. Spend some time with it. Get to know it. Just like you don't decide you're going to marry a girl on your first date, right? You date her a couple of times. Date her for a while. Good night and happy weekend. You're taking off, JCS. Calling it a night. It's late for you, Friday night. Close to 11. He's probably going to bed. But thank you, JCS. We'll see you on Tuesday, right? You'll be here Tuesday? Have a happy weekend to you too. It's raining and cold here in Southern California. So all of you that are on the southeast, where all the temperatures are like in the 80s and stuff, it's going to be a horrible weekend for you. It's raining and cold and snowing here. I look forward to next week too, Darian. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. The review will go up on Monday, so I'll send you the link to the review, Darian, after I post it, so you can watch it, and then you can message me and tell me how wrong I am on things. No, I'm joking. I've got all the information, so everything will be correct. Oh, you plan on it? Okay, good. So we'll see JCS on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's 10 Eastern. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. It's been great chatting with you guys today. I hope you're all excited about Mezcal Mondays and talking about other agave spirits as I am. Also, we'll check in on the wine projects that we're working on. Now you're giving dating advice too. Yeah, too late for you. You already married her, huh? Excited to point out. Yeah, everyone is always excited to point out all of my errors. Hey, good night, Darian. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's always great seeing you, and I'm sure we'll see you on Tuesday. I look forward to actually seeing your face and talking to you live. That'd be cool. It was SoCal weather in South Carolina today. Yeah, it's literally snowing here in Southern California and just raining, really cold and nasty. So it feels like the East Coast here. It's kind of switched for this year. Sent all the good weather out to the East Coast, and all the cold, rainy weather's here on the West Coast right now. So it's going to be a rough weekend for us here. I think I'm going to have to go see Cocaine Bear and spend my time inside tomorrow. Who else is going to see Cocaine Bear, man? It's going to be the best movie ever. I'm so looking forward to seeing that. Thanks, Scott. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us today. Where is it? Why isn't it? Yeah, let's get rid of this. Let's see if this will work now. There. No, keeps putting Ivan up. Why is it doing that? Hold on. Oh, well, it doesn't want to let me change it now. But thank you, Scott. Adios. And you guys, like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila. So keep following what I tell you on my reviews and stuff. And join me here at the Hombre Cave for deeper dives into things. And you'll make sure you'll be sipping some nice mezcals and agave spirits and tequila. And you might even like Salmiana as well. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you